Hello everyone and welcome back to Catherine's Plates. Do I have one for you today? I'm going to show you how to make cinnamon sugar donut bread. And you know I have someone excited for this one in the house. It's as simple as these ingredients right here and a loaf pan, which that would be perfect if you wanted to get some loaf pans, make these up and give them out to your friends and family for the holidays. Yeah, I'll put that on your dessert table for Thanksgiving or make it for breakfast to get everybody started before the turkey. Okay, I'm going to bring y'all up here and let's go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do is grease our loaf pan. I'm using a 9 by 5 by 3 inch. This is ceramic and you can use any kind you have. You just want to make sure you spray really good, the sides and the bottom. We're going to set that aside. In a large mixing bowl, we're going to add 1 cup of white granulated sugar. To that, we're going to add 1/4 cup of softened butter, or 4 tablespoons. We're going to add 1/4 cup of canola oil. We're going to whisk this together. You want to make sure that it's well incorporated. We're going to crack in 2 eggs. We're going to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla. We're going to mix this until it's nice and smooth. I want to make sure all the eggs are incorporated into the mixture. Okay, now that we got a good mix on this, we're going to set it aside. We're just going to go ahead and whisk together some dry ingredients that we can add. 1½ cups all-purpose flour. Who doesn't love a good cinnamon swirl donut, right? Okay, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And then we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to get a different whisk, just kind of blend this together. It kind of aerates it, gets it all well incorporated. What we're going to do now is take 1/2 of our flour mixture. We're going to add it to the wet ingredients. We're going to take some buttermilk. Now I have 1/2 cup of buttermilk and we're going to put 1/2 of this into our mixture. And then we're going to blend that all together. Carefully. And just use a whisk. It's great. We don't have to bring out our stand mixer or our electric hand mixer for this. Just a whisk. We're going to put in the rest of the flour mixture. The other 1/2 of the buttermilk. Now, if you don't have buttermilk, there's a substitution. You can put 1/2 tablespoon of lemon juice into your measuring cup and then fill it up with regular milk up to the 1/2 cup on your measuring cup. Stir it and then let it sit for 5 minutes, and then you have buttermilk for this recipe. All right, let's go ahead and get this incorporated. You don't want to over stir, just until it's well combined. Bring over a small bowl. What you want to do with the batter is pull out half a cup, and we're going to put it into a separate small bowl. That way we can jazz it up. To that, we're going to add half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And we're going to add half a teaspoon of some dark corn syrup. If you don't have that, you can use molasses, or you can even use honey. It's just a little sweetener. We're going to blend that all together. It'll give a nice color too if you use the dark molasses or dark corn syrup. We're going to place half of the batter into our loaf pan. You can just kind of estimate. I'm just going to smooth it out. We're going to dollop half of the other mixture that has the cinnamon in it on top of the batter. Place the rest of the batter on top of the cinnamon mixture. Make it nice and even. Dollop the rest of the cinnamon mixture on top. I'm telling you, it smells good. We're going to take a butter knife and swirl. Go down to all the layers. Just create a swirl technique. All right, look at that. Okay, my oven is preheated at 350 degrees. We're going to place our cinnamon sugar donut bread in for 45 to 50 minutes. You want to be able to put a toothpick through the center and have it come out clean. There's still some more fun that's going to happen to give it that delicious coating. Oh, you wish we were done? Not quite yet. I've got 2 bowls set here. I'm going to show you what we're going to do while we let this rest for 10 minutes. In one bowl, we're going to add 1 stick of melted butter. All right, that'll cool down. In another shallow dish, now I'm using pie plates, we're going to add 1/4 cup brown sugar, 1/4 cup of white granulated sugar, and half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Just going to whisk this together. You can use a fork or a small whisk until it's well combined. The cake is cooled for 10 minutes inside of the loaf pan. I just took a small spatula, just going around the edges. Make sure that it pops out good. Now what we're going to do is very gently, we're going to tip it out of the dish. We're going to bring our melted butter over. We're going to take our loaf, we're going to place it in, and then we're going to start turning it around. That way it all gets coated. We're going to get a spoon. Pour that melted butter on the top. All right, what we're going to do now is bring the sugar over. We're going to take the cake out of the butter and put it into the sugar mixture. And we're going to do the same thing. Dunk it in. Coat all the sides. Be very careful. This will hold up, so don't be afraid of it. We're going to coat the sides. I'm going to get another spoon. I'm just going to take that cinnamon sugar mixture, sprinkle it on top, coat it well. All right, what we're going to do now is place this back into the pan. That way it looks really nice. We're going to take the rest of that sugar mixture, sprinkle it on top. Okay, tell me you wouldn't want to serve that up for fall, for Thanksgiving, breakfast, brunch, Christmas. All right, I'm going to cut my cinnamon swirl donut bread and give it a try for you. Look at the crumb on that. Mmm. 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 That is scrumptious. Today I'm going to show you how to make no-fail, easy, classic banana bread. Grab you 4 overripe small bananas. We're going to get going mashing those up. So take your banana and we're just going to peel it. Just break it up into your bowl. Now you can use your bananas if you have them in the freezer. You were saving them for a rainy day. You can take them out, thaw them, and then drain off any excess liquid that may have accrued on them when they were frozen. Now if you're using large bananas, you can use 2 large bananas, or if you have medium bananas, then you can use 3. Now once you get them all into your small bowl here, we're going to mash them up with a fork. Now you can leave little pieces of banana in here if you want, if you like that texture in a banana bread. Now bananas are the star of the show, so you want to make sure that you have enough. You want to have that banana flavor in there. Once you get these all mashed up, we'll set these aside. Now the riper your bananas are, the more sweeter the bread will be, and it'll have more moisture. Now I think this is a really good consistency. All right, we're going to start putting our dry ingredients together. To our large mixing bowl, we're going to add in 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm just going to kind of dig deep into my flour here, come up and even that out. And then add it to my bowl. I got some cleaning up to do on that one. There we go. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. That'll help give it a rise. A little leavening agent there. We're going to put in half a teaspoon of salt. And we're going to put in half a teaspoon of some ground cinnamon. Ooh, that'll make my husband happy. An overfill of cinnamon. Take your whisk. We're going to blend this all together, kind of aerate it, and then we're going to get that leavening agent all mixed up in there so that the banana bread rises evenly. We're going to set this aside, and then we're going to get our butter and sugars ready. Got 1 stick of softened butter. This is half a cup. Boop. We're going to add half a cup of brown sugar. Now you want to make sure you pack it. Let's press down. We'll add that. And then we're going to add a 1/4 cup white granulated sugar. I'm going to be using my electric hand mixer. We're going to beat the sugar and the butter together till it's nice and creamy. Now I do want to let you know that that butter should be very soft when you put it into your mixing bowl. Now I had taken my butter straight out of the refrigerator and then I unwrapped it, put it on a plate, put it in the microwave for 20 seconds. All right, this step here will take 2 minutes to incorporate the sugars with the butter. Okay, what we're going to do now is start incorporating 2 eggs. We're going to do this one at a time. So I'm going to crack them into a separate bowl. You want to bring your eggs to room temperature somewhat, if you can. We'll incorporate the first egg, and then we'll bring the other egg in. There we go, just until combined. All right, I'm going to get my spatula. I'm going to push down the sides. We can make sure everything is getting incorporated. And then we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I've been asked about this spoon. Almost spilled it over the side of the bowl. Anyway, this is a measuring spoon, so it has 1/4 all the way up to 1 teaspoon, and then I have another one that starts at 1 teaspoon and goes all the way to 1 tablespoon. So, okay, so we're just going to mix until the vanilla is combined. We're going to take the mashed bananas. We're going to add it to our mixture. All right, use my spatula here, get the rest out. Now I'm going to use the spatula to mix the banana into the mixture, just until combined. There we go. Now what we're going to do is combine the flour into the banana mixture a little at a time. We're just going to fold it in with our spatula and just get it mixed until all the flour is combined. You don't want to overmix or you're going to have a dense bread. Put that much in right there and fold it in. Now when you fold in, you go down to the bottom, get the wet ingredients, and just fold it into the flour, just like that. So come down about halfway through, pick it up. Another 1/3 of the flour there. Get that incorporated. This is what's going to make a nice, airy banana bread. And no, we're not from Arizona. You see my towel over here? We tend to pick up things when we go to different states when we travel, and this is a tea towel, and I use that a lot for rolling cakes, but I had this one here. So we're from Texas, Southeast Texas. We're in Katy, Texas. Hey, give a shout out if you're in Katy, Texas. Give a shout out if you're close. How about give a shout out if you're far away? We want to know where all of y'all are at, what state you're in. Let us know. Okay, you can see that that's incorporated. So I'm going to go down to the bottom and just make sure. You don't want to over mix. We want to keep that air in there. Perfect right there. Love it. I've got a loaf pan, and it's 8 inches by 4 inches by 2 inches deep. It's kind of your standard meatloaf pan, if you will. I'm going to spray the inside all the way up to the corners, the bottom, the sides. You want this bread to come out of the pan, okay? So make sure you spray it good. I'm going to take it over to my sink and spray it there so I don't get it all over the floor and everything else. I am using a spray that has flour in it because that will really help release the bread from the baking pan. Let's take our batter and put it into our dish. All right, I'm just going to spread it out evenly. Oh, I can see the little bits of banana in there. Oh my gosh. Don't forget what we're doing today. We are baking the world a better place. Banana bread. Now, all ovens are not created equal. We're going to bake this at 350 degrees for 45 minutes to an hour. It all depends on the thickness of your dish. Use the toothpick test. You're going to place it into the center of your banana bread, probably at the 45-minute mark. Pull it out. If it's nice and clean, then your bread is nice and done, as long as it's golden brown on the top. I'll be back with a slab of butter. Okay, I've just pulled this out of the oven. It took about 55 minutes. Where it got me was right in the center right here. I had to put the toothpick in. It wasn't quite done, so I gave it some more time, and now it is completely done. Look at that. What I'm going to do is let it rest in the pan for 5 minutes. I'm going to pop it out, place it onto a wire rack that I have right here. Just cool it down a little bit. I'm going to slather some butter on my slice and give it a try for you. I'm just going to go along the edges. Just make sure that it's not stuck. Oh yeah, look at that. All right, we're gonna cool it down some more on the rack. Okay, we're ready. We are ready for some banana bread. It's still warm. Well, that's the first piece. Whoop. Look at that. Let's take some butter and slather it on. That's the way I like it. Going in for a bite. Mmm. 3-ingredient pumpkin chocolate chip bread. This is a really simple recipe, but if you like pumpkin chocolate chip bread and you don't want to go through the fuss and the hassle of getting everything out of your pantry, like your flour, your sugar, getting your eggs, your spices, this is it right here. I'm going to show you how fluffy this is, how delicious it's going to turn out using a cake mix. Okay, right here we're going to go ahead and get started. I've got a medium bowl. We're going to place in our cake mix. This is a spice cake, and it's got cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice in it. So that'll give you your flavors right there. All right, we're gonna get some scissors out. How are y'all doing today? It's a nice day for us in Southeast Texas. If y'all don't know, I'm from Katy, Texas, which is just right on the edge of Houston, Texas. All right, let me get my can opener. This is a 15-ounce can, and it's 100% pure pumpkin. You don't want to get the pumpkin mix, okay, because then it's got a lot of sweeteners in it, and we already have that in the cake mix here. So just be careful which one you get. We're going to go ahead and open this and then add it to our bowl. Pumpkin is such a fall thing. We're going to add the whole can. Okay, we're going to take a hand mixer and we're going to blend this together until it's nice and combined. That's the only liquid in this bread, okay? You got to remember this is a bread and not a cake, so it's going to be a little more firmer. Start off on the low setting. That way you don't have your cake powder going everywhere. And then once we get that kind of combined, we're going to start going to the medium. I would definitely mix it for about 1 minute. Whip some air into it. Y'all, it smells delicious. It smells like a pumpkin pie. Now there is a recipe on the back of the can, and it has the famous pumpkin pie and the new-fashioned pumpkin pie. Okay, what you're going to need is a loaf pan. Let me show you how big that one is. Let me get my... Okay, it's 9 by 5 by 3 inches tall. So this is a standard loaf pan. Now what we're going to do is you want to grease and flour it. I'm going to be using some Baker's Joy because it's got the flour inside of the nonstick cooking spray. All right. Make sure you get in the corners. Okay, what we're going to do now is add our chocolate chips. These are semi-sweet. We'll get our scissors out. I love the original Toll House chocolate chip cookies on the back of the package here, the recipe. So delicious. All right, I'm preheating my oven to 350 degrees. We're going to add 1 to 2 cups of chocolate chips into the pumpkin batter. Now it just depends on how chocolatey you want this. I'm loading it up. I've got a measuring cup that measures half a cup. So I'm going to go in a few times. And we're going to go half more. 1.5 cups. Fold it in. Now it's going to be a stiff batter, but I promise you it's going to come out very fluffy. Okay, look at that. We're going to go ahead now and bring over our pan that we've prepared, and we're going to put the batter in. It smells so good. Oh, I love the smell of pumpkin. One of my favorites to cook during the holiday seasons, during the fall, pumpkin. I'm going to spread this out evenly. I can't wait for this one. Okay, I'm going to take all the excess off, because you know that is almost a piece of bread there. While the oven is preheating to 350 degrees, I'm going to tell you some of the recipes that I've made using pumpkin, and you can find these on my recipe blog, catherinesplates.com, where you can also find the videos, or you can go into the description box and find those there. I've made magic pumpkin cookie bars. Those were really good. Double layer pumpkin pie, pumpkin pull apart loaf, pumpkin spice monkey bread, pumpkin pie pancakes. Yeah, you can do that. Pumpkin caramel butter bars. My all-time favorite, pumpkin earthquake cake. That one was delicious. Y'all go check that one out. What I think I'm gonna do is top the bread with some more chocolate chips. This will definitely give it some more chocolate flavor. And right on top, it'll make it look really good. There we go. What do y'all think? All right, our oven is preheated. We're gonna go ahead and place our pumpkin chocolate chip bread batter into the oven for 50 to 60 minutes. You wanna make sure that you can stick a toothpick into the center of the bread loaf, pull it out, and it comes out clean. It'll pull away from the sides of the dish, and also it should be kind of firm to the touch on the top. I'll be back. You know you want to know what this looks like on the inside. All right, I've just pulled my pumpkin chocolate chip bread out of the oven. I did a toothpick test. Just put it into the center, pull it out, and it should be totally clean. It's firm to the touch on the top, and it's pulled away from the edges. We're going to let it sit in the pan for about 5 minutes. Then we'll pull it out and we'll place it on our cooling rack to completely cool. We've cooled down the bread. I'm going to slice it. Look at that. Oh, I can smell the spice off of that. It smells really good. Oh yeah, I love the crumb on that. I'm going to give this a try for you. Oh my gosh, Who says you can't put pumpkin and chocolate together? Good morning, everyone. I'm going to show you how to make apple pie bread. So delicious. There's many variations. Pick you a can of pie filling, box of cake mix, some fruit, some flavoring, and then just a few things over here that's going to pull it all together. So this doesn't have to be apple pie. This can be blueberry, this can be cherry. Heck, I'm going to show you all a pumpkin recipe in the fall there, so hang on to that. Y'all ready? This would be great with a cup of coffee. This would be great to slice up, give to your kids on the way out the door to back to school. Yeah, even dessert. Is that good? All right, now I was going to show you that another great pairing, chocolate and cherry pie filling. There's also, like, you could do a white cake mix with blueberry pie filling. Yeah, that sounds delicious, doesn't it? Y'all comment down below what flavor you want to make after you do this apple pie one. First thing we're going to do is put our dry ingredients into a large bowl. We're going to start off with the yellow cake mix. This is 15.25 ounce size box. This will wake everybody up. It'll smell so good throughout the house. It's not fall yet, but you can certainly make an easy dessert bread. All right. There we go. As simple as that. All right, let's get our flour over here. Let me talk about that. Now we're going to be using 1 cup of flour. Now the recipe calls for self-rising flour, so if you have that, just go ahead and add that to your cake mix here. Now if you don't, you can use all-purpose flour and turn it into self-rising flour by just adding 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I tend to have all-purpose flour on hand all the time, and if I need to turn it into self-rising flour for a recipe, I just do that, as simple as this right here. Now we're going to go ahead and whisk that together. Add that to your cake mix. We've got ground cinnamon. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon. Now, if you're doing the blueberry or if you're doing another flavor, I wouldn't put the cinnamon in there. That's just to enhance the apple. I'm going to whisk this all together. Yeah, you could put this together lickety-split in the morning. Or if you're looking for a nice dessert at night, put this together. It's very simple. What keeps it simple is your box cake mix right here. All right, let's set this aside for just a second. I'm going to bring over 4 eggs. I'm going to crack them all into a bowl, and then we're going to whisk that up. There we go. That'll make it very nice and fluffy too. I'm just going to use my small whisk, break up the yolks, whisk this carefully till it's all well combined, kind of like it's scrambled. Hope everyone's having a good morning or a good afternoon whenever you are watching this. Yeah, that looks good. All right, we're going to bring our mixture back over. We're going to add the eggs. Okay, add your whole can of apple pie filling. This is a 21 ounce can. I'm going to take a look at these apples and see if I need to break them up. Yep, I'm going to go in with a knife, going to kind of break these apples up with a knife. Just go in and just kind of cut through them all the way down to the bottom, because they have big pieces in here. And we want to cut those down to size, bite-sized pieces. All right, once you feel you got them all, go ahead and add that to our mixture. I'm going to take a wooden spoon and blend this all together till it's well combined. The baking powder, what's going to help make this rise along with the cake mix. So make sure you get down in there and get all that flour up. You get stuck down there and you can't see it. Yeah, you don't even need an electric hand mixer for this. Just get in there with a wooden spoon or a spatula and blend it together. What we're going to do is put some fresh apple in it. All right, so I'm just going to take the peel off. If you don't have an apple, you don't have to do this step. I have an apple, and so I just want to put it in there, give it a freshness. I'm just going to cut off the 4 sides. So we're going to cut these in dices. Okay, we're going to add our diced apples to our batter. Just fold that in. I'm just going to use my wooden spoon here. Give it a rough mix. All right, we're going to put these into 2 loaf pans. So what I'm going to do is take some cooking spray. Now I'm using some that has the flour already in it, or you can grease your pans and flour them and then shake out the excess. Okay, these are 8.5 by 4.5 by 2.5 inches. What we're going to do now is place our batter and divide it equally in between the 2 pans. Oh, I love those real apples in there. And they're going to bake down. All right, I've got my oven preheating at 325 degrees, 325. We're going to place these in the oven to bake for 35 to 40 minutes. You want to make sure that you put a toothpick in the center of the cake, pull it out, and it should come out clean. Be nice and golden all around the edges and pull away just a little bit. I'll be back. All right, look at those. I'd already tested it with a toothpick. Just put it through the center. It shouldn't be wet on the toothpick. I go in a few places just to make sure that it is okay. It's nice and golden on the top, firm to the touch, which is what you want. Okay, we're going to cool these down completely, and then we're going to slice into them. Okay, these have cooled, and as you can see, they've pulled away from the edges of the pan. Oh, look at that. Doesn't that look beautiful on the back side? I'm going to place it on a serving platter. We're going to cut some slices. Still nice and warm on the inside. Using a bread knife to cut this. You'll see the apples in there. It smells so delicious with that cinnamon in there. All right, I'm going to give this a try. That crumb texture, that's delicious. Oh, I love the texture of the apples in there. Hello everyone, ready to put 2 cans of biscuits to work? I'm Catherine with Catherine's Plates, where everything is simply delicious. We're going to put a luscious twist on an old classic, and we're going to make blueberry monkey bread. Oh, it's a pull apart kind of a loaf with blueberries and a drizzle on top. It's going to be so delicious. Y'all, check out how I'm going to make this one today. All right, let's bring our cutting board over. We're going to open up one of the cans of biscuits. I'm using the Grand's Southern Homestyle biscuit. Whatever you have, you're going to need 2 cans. And these are 16-ounce cans each. And there's 8 biscuits in each can. Woo! All right, we're going to take them out, spread them out, and then we'll come back to the other can. Now you can just use a knife, or you can use some scissors from your kitchen that are clean. And we're going to cut these into pieces. Looking at doing 8 pieces, so we have small little bites. So we're going to do like that right there. I just cut it in half. Each half gets cut 4 times. Now once we get this can done, we'll do the next can, and then we'll just set these aside for a minute. Nice little summertime breakfast, brunch idea, dinner, dessert, whatever you want. Whoa, coming out. And, oh, that was it. Now, in the fall time, y'all go check out my channel and find the pumpkin spice monkey bread. Really good one. And in the winter time, Rihanna, who's my daughter, we did a hot chocolate monkey bread. Oh my goodness. The flavors you can do, you guys. And then I have a standard monkey bread out there also. Go check it out. You can find my recipes at catherinesplates.com and just type something in. They're all there for you. That should do it right here. We'll set this aside. There we go. All right, let's make our coating for the biscuit pieces. In a small bowl, we're going to add in a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/4 cup white granulated sugar, 2 tablespoons of softened butter, and then we're going to add in 1/2 teaspoon ground cinnamon. Now we're going to take a fork and we're just going to blend this together. So we get a nice crumble. There's many techniques to making monkey bread, especially with the coating. That's looking pretty good. Definitely want nice little crumbs in there. Yeah, that's what we're looking for right there. I'll see that. All right. We're going to bring over a Ziploc bag. Now I'm just using my Ziploc bag holder here. It's really nice. It extends upwards for your large Ziploc bag, or you can take it down for a smaller Ziploc bag. We're going to place our coating mixture into the bag. Okay, while that sits there, we're going to make the blueberry filling. Now to make the blueberry pie filling, we're going to use blueberry pie filling. Now we need to loosen it up a little bit so that it can coat all the biscuits. This is a 21-ounce size can. I'm going to heat it up in a medium saucepan with another ingredient and get this going. Now that other ingredient is butter. 4 tablespoons. In our saucepan, we're going to heat that on a medium heat. We'll start melting that down. Now while that's melting, we're going to go ahead and add in our blueberry pie filling. Ooh, doesn't that look good? Still a swipe.
That's good.
He's excited.
I am.
He is very excited. Let's add that all in. We just want to heat this through. We're not going to boil it or anything. I know. Y'all stay tuned to see how this all comes together. And we have a delicious cream cheese icing going on the top. Oh, it's going to pull it all together. All right, once your butter's all melted, turn off the heat. Get your bundt pan. We're going to spray it very thoroughly. Make sure you get in all the nooks and crannies and everything. That way this monkey bread will come out of our pan. I'm going to take this over to the sink to do it because I don't want it going all over the place and getting everything nice and sticky. So I'll be right back. There we go. Make sure you get that tube shape also in there. All right, we're going to bring over our topping mixture. We're going to bring over our biscuits. Here we go. We're going to put half of them into our bag here. All right, I think that's half right there. Put a few more in. I'm going to take them off my stand. Zip up your bag. You don't want all that coming out. All right, what we're going to do is get everything nice and coated. All right, I'm just separating some of them that kind of stick together. That looks really good. All right, we're going to put this layer in the bottom of our bundt pan that we prepared. Now, make sure you leave some of the mixture in there so we can do the second batch. Oh, it smells delicious. We haven't even done the blueberries yet. We've got enough crumble for the next batch. What we're going to do, mixture here, drizzle it on top of the coated biscuit pieces here. Let it ooze on down. Y'all drooling yet?
Yes.
Let's bring our bag of mixture back over, the coating, put the rest of the biscuits in it, and get these nice and coated. And now we're going to take them out. We're going to place them on top of the blueberry mixture there. There'll be nice layers. Now don't smash it in there. We want that blueberry filling to go in between these two. Get all in between. All right, let's finish it off with the blueberry pie filling. Look at that. I've got my oven preheated at 350 degrees. Now I've got a sheet pan here. I'm going to cover it with some foil. This is to protect our oven. If this goes over the sides just a little bit, you don't want that blueberry pie filling in your oven, all right? It'll catch it right there. I'm going to place this in the oven for about 45 minutes until it is baked through completely. And then we've got a drizzle we got to put on this to finish it off. I've pulled this out of the oven. I've let it rest in the pan for 10 minutes. And what I'm going to do is go around the outside just a little bit, pop it out. Using a knife, I'm just going around the edges here. And we'll do that on the tube also. That way we can make sure everything pops out. Now you're going to take your serving tray, platter, plate, whatever you have, and you want to put it upside down on your bundt pan. And what we're going to do is flip the whole thing over. There we go. And we're just going to thunk it a little bit, loosen up. I'm going to grab the sides. Use your towel because it's going to be hot. All right. There we go. Look at that thing. Isn't it beautiful? Now what we're going to do is let that cool down, and then we're going to make that delicious cream cheese frosting to put on top. We're going to place 4 ounces of cream cheese that I've brought to room temperature into a medium bowl. I'm going to use the whisk attachment for my electric hand mixer, and we're going to smooth out the cream cheese. Now I've got 1.5 cups of powdered sugar, and I'm going to add it in about 1/2 cup at a time. And then I have a little bit of milk here, and we'll add about a teaspoon or so just to get it started, and we'll go back and forth until we get a nice smooth consistency. Now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add about half a teaspoon of lemon juice. We don't want to overpower it. Blend that in. All right, I'm going to add the rest of the powdered sugar, a little bit of the milk. And what we want to do is get to a stage where this will drizzle on top of our blueberry monkey bread. That looks really good. Let's drizzle it on. All right, now I'm going to put some down in the center. Mm-hmm. All right, here's my bite. That drizzle on top, that lemon flavor really picks up those blueberries. That's delicious. What did y'all think of my luscious twist on an old classic? Blueberry monkey bread. Pull it apart, you guys. Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to make pumpkin crumble bread. It's going to be a delicious pumpkin bread, and we're going to have a nice, delicious crumble on top. Y'all, go grab your can of pumpkin puree. We got a few things that we pulled out of the pantry to pull this one together. The first thing we're going to do is make that bread batter, and then we'll make that crumble. So we're going to start in a large bowl. We're going to go ahead and put that pumpkin puree in. This is a 15-ounce can, and when I say 100% pure pumpkin, there's nothing else in the can. So don't get that pumpkin filling because it's already got other stuff in there that we don't need. All right, let's put this in a large mixing bowl. I'm so excited that it is fall time already. It took a while to get here, didn't it? It was a long summer. All right, you are going to need a whisk for this once we get everything in. Oh, that smells delicious coming out of the can. I cannot wait. We're going to crack in 2 eggs. I'm going to crack it into a small bowl. That way we make sure we don't get any shells. Like that one there, we'll get that one out and add it to the bowl. That was a clean one. We're going to add in half a cup of milk. And I have half a cup of melted butter, which is 1 stick. I just let this cool down just a little bit after I melted it. That way the eggs won't scramble. We're going to add in half a cup of brown sugar. I'm just going to go in. Now we want to pack it. So I'm just going to smash it down. There we go. That'll go in. And then we're going to put in half a cup of granulated sugar. Now I've got cane sugar that I'm using. That's why it's a little darker. There we go. All right, we're going to take our whisk and blend this all together. All right, we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then we'll whisk that in. All right, we're done with the whisk. Grab you a spatula. We're going to add 1 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. Ah, I found this. It's been missing. All right, we're going to go in. I'm so excited. It's baking season for me. I feel like that. Oop, get in there. Okay, then I'm going to take my 1/4 cup here and go in 3 times. That will give us an even amount here. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Help it rise. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Oh, we got the good stuff coming. 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. Y'all, let's give this a smell. Wow. Fall is in the air. We're back to getting some cool weather starting tonight, so we're excited.
Hopefully.
And we're going to add some more cinnamon to it. 1 teaspoon. Now what you want to do is take your spatula, blend that all together. So we're going to take our spatula, we're going to fold it all in. So start down at the bottom, pull up into the flour. And we're going to keep doing that until we get a nice little batter going. Try to keep it in the bowl. Oh, that smells good, you guys. We're going to set this off to the side. Let's make the crumble. In the medium bowl, we're going to put in 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. I'm not going to really worry about scraping it to get a perfect amount. And then we're going to add in 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And then we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of white granulated sugar. And then 1/2 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. Yeah, we're going to have it everywhere. I'm going to wake up that pumpkin. All right, let's blend this together. I've got 1/2 stick of butter, or 1/4 cup of very cold butter, and all I did was cube it. We'll add that, and then we're going to blend that together. We're just looking for a nice even crumble. I'm just using my pastry cutter, or you can use a fork, or you can even go in with your hands if you want to do that. All right, I just went in with my hand. This is what we're looking for right here. This is nice right here. All right, let's build our pumpkin crumble bread. All right, grab you your standard loaf pan. This is a 9 by 5 by 3 inch size. Now, grab you a piece of parchment paper and we're going to crush it up. Wad it up. You're mad at it, you know? And then we're going to place it into our loaf pan there. Oh, this will really help get that cake out of here, or that bread. It's going to seem like cake, isn't it? I'm going to put it in. Make sure it goes all the way to the corners. And then we're going to scoop the bread batter right here into it. Now, if you don't have parchment, you could just grab some cooking spray and spray the loaf pan very good. I'll just spread it out nice and even. All right, that's kind of almost a slice, isn't it? We don't want to waste that. Okay, bring over your crumble. We're going to put it right on top. Thomas, what are you feeling right now?
I feel like I'm going to need a cup of coffee here in about an hour or so.
Yeah. Put it all on there. Y'all ever heard of this? Pumpkin crumble bread? Oh,
Kind of reminds me of a coffee cake.
Yeah. All right, this is going to bake in a 350-degree preheated oven for about 65 to 75 minutes. You are going to want to put a toothpick through the center of the cake or the bread and have it come out nice and clean. Okay, guys, we're going to be back. We've pulled this out of the oven and we cooled it down completely before you remove it out of the pan. Now, you can grab the edges of the parchment paper and spread it out. Look at that, you guys. Bread knife. Ooh, the house smells delicious. All right, y'all, look at that. Ooh, look how moist that is. That is the pumpkin there. Give that a try for you guys. I love that texture. It's spongy like a cake, but it's a bread. And that crumble on top, wow. Adds another layer of flavor on the top of there, and also that nice little crunch. And that butter kind of like drove it in. All right, you guys, you let me know what you think of my pumpkin crumble bread. Perfect for fall. That is a new recipe for us, and that is delicious. Give me a thumbs up on this one. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and that bell notification. That way you'll always know when shows like this one here are posted. We will see you on the next episode. Bye.